We all have heard about people, maybe know some people, who have lots of the external stuff, and there's nothing wrong with the external stuff. You can have all of it that's necessary for you to fulfill your life purpose and to be comfortable. But that doesn't necessarily make a person rich. And don't take my opinion. Read the research. Read the psychological studies of research done by people all over the world. And what they've discovered is that when people have money, let's talk about money for a moment. When people have enough to meet, they're living above the poverty level, how much more money you make above that does not significantly increase a person's level of happiness. That's not theory, that's not philosophy, that is interviewing thousands and thousands of people and discovering that truth. Not only that, but there is some research that shows the more you have, the more problems that come with the money. Wouldn't you like to have some of those problems? So, being rich. We're looking at two sides of the coin here. Some people, immediately they're thinking about jobs and, lots of money and trips and this and that and the other thing. And that's great. If that's what is needed for a person to fulfill their purpose and express their greater good, then so be it. Awesome. But there are people who have very little in material things, but they're rich in spirit, and they're happy, and they're peaceful, and they're joyful, and they feel rich. How many of y'all know somebody like that? I've been that person. When I was living in Ananda Village in a spiritual community in Northern California, I was broke. Probably living below the poverty level. I used to buy gifts for Christmas in the dollar store. This was back when the dollar store, there was only one dollar store that I knew of. Now there's the dollar store for super wealthy people, It's not $1, it's $30. I remember buying Christmas gifts. I was dating this lady. She had 2 kids. 10 years old, 11 years old. And I bought their Christmas gifts in the dollar store. When they opened their gifts, they looked at their mom, they looked at the gift, they looked at their mom, they looked at the gift. They didn't know how to react. Their mom was giving them some expensive Atari this or whatever was big back then on the computer, playing games and whatever. And I gave them something I bought in the dollar store. I used to grocery shop, and I would think, gee, I'd love to have that, but I better get this. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can be, I was happy. But let me tell you, I sure do like the fact that I can go in the grocery store and buy whatever I want. Because that's me. Then there's other people who could buy anything they want. They could buy the grocery store itself, and they're pulling out the coupons. Isn't that true? They're collecting coupons. I don't want to spend my valuable time looking through the newspaper collecting coupons, but that's all right for them. That's fine. The most generous people to causes that support causes and spiritual movements and places doing good in the world, they're not the super rich. They're the person on an average income. They're the ones, statistically, who are the most generous with their giving. What am I saying? What are we saying? We're saying to be rich ultimately is to know and to have security and inner peace knowing that God is my one and only source. And that people, stocks, jobs, inheritances, whatever, are channels through which God expresses. That's real security. That's real security. That's what gives someone who's stuck in a relationship. They're unhappy, but they're relying on the person's income. And they feel stuck and trapped. I must be talking to somebody here today because I didn't plan on saying that. They feel trapped. And it's knowing, you know what? He's not my source, or she's not my source. God is my source. God is my source. That's where I can find the strength, the faith, the security to begin to change my life so that I can fulfill the reason I'm here and do what I'm here to do and make a difference on the planet and do it comfortably and what works for my personality. And that might mean a small income. That might mean a simple living situation, but it's good enough for you and you feel rich because you know God is your source and you're happy and you're peaceful and you're content and you have meaning and purpose in your life. And if you have all that, you're rich. Or it could mean you own a jet plane and a helicopter and you fly to work in a helicopter. It can mean that too. Because you have inner security and happiness, and you know your source is God, and you're rich. The late Sir John Templeton, the founder of the Templeton Funds, he was a Unity student from childhood. He had all of that. But first, he had his security knowing God is his source. So you can have all of whatever is necessary for your fulfillment.